record. I'm gonna
I
start
get knocked down.
the stream.
But I get up
Here
again.
we go. Three, two, one. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Questlog. It's a weekly show about video games, old and new. My name is Tyler Everett. I am joined by three wonderful people. Let's go around the horn here. It's a Brian Maxwell, everyone. Hello.
Good evening. Happy episode 75.
75, hype. It's not a prime number. It's not even that special.
It's a multiple of 25.
It is a multiple of 25, which has meaning to us because it's part of 100. And that's cool.
Neat.
That's no stretch.
Also neat is one Luke Phillips. How's it going, man?
Hey, fantastic.
Glad to have you.
Wow.
Glad to have you here.
Putting Kring on the old back burner here, huh?
Yeah, I like
It's
to
fine.
keep him. I like to keep him guessing. Like to keep him guessing. The Kring that we're keeping on the back burner tonight is none other than Aaron Kring.
Hello. I'm not neat. I'm sloppy.
Sloppy Kring. That's what they call
Sloppy
him.
Craig.
On the streets.
That's what they call him on the streets. That's where you can find him. Hashtag Sloppy Kring.
It's my pirate name, Sloppy Cring.
It's not bad. You know, for $9.99, Xbox Live will let you switch your name to that.
No.
Some extra sloppy.
No. I'm not gonna change my name to Old Slop Beard.
I don't know. It was worth it to me.
Not
So that's me.
bad. It's not a bad name.
Yeah, I got sick of not having a pirate name in Sea of Thieves, so I changed mine to Old Ratbeard. I think I'm pretty happy about it.
So for all of you out in listener land, Tyler can be found on Sea of Thieves under the name Old Ratbeard.
Old
Look him up.
Ratbeard. Yeah.
Get killed
Come
by
get
him. Come get some.
Come get some. Come try to take Old Ratbeard down. I'm down. Yeah, so welcome to episode 75. It's April 28th. We're almost done with April. We got May coming up. May hype.
It's gonna be May.
Yeah, it's gonna be May.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Over here in the wilds of Michigan, it's been feeling like January still, so that's fun.
It's been what are we up to now? Our fifth winter of the year? Something like that.
Yeah, I'm starting to think the Starks had it right, and we're in for like a Game of Thrones style winter
Yeah.
here. It was like 38 degrees today. I was out there grilling and freezing my stuffs off.
That's the old joke, but it was like t-shirt on Thursday, coat on Friday.
Yeah, for sure.
I was out walking my dog today in my Carhartt overalls and my Carhartt coat, freezing my butt off still. all bundled up like I'm Ralphie from Christmas Story.
Oh, it's a good movie. Maybe
Yeah,
the
I
Ralph
was
or
rebelling.
Randy?
I just had a light spring jacket.
You're right, it was Randy. Brian,
Oh, that's right.
he's so much better at Christmas movies than me.
You tried.
Well, it's not Christmas Vacation, so does it really matter?
Yeah, if it's not Christmas Vacation, it doesn't matter.
Are we going to do this?
Sure,
We
let's
can.
do this.
I'll
We can.
battle.
Christmas Vacation is one of the best Christmas movies, but it's not a better Christmas movie than A Christmas Story. Let's get into
True.
what we've been playing.
There's the music.
Right.
Brian made his case. I agree with it. Oh man, Brian, you know what? Your reward for that very accurate description of how the ranking of Christmas movies works, the definitive list. I want to know what you've been playing this week.
Brian, I'm gonna let you finish. Christmas Vacation was one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time. All time.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks, Kringye. Let's but Brian, take it away. Take the floor. The seat is yours.
Well, first of all, I got to experience PlayStation VR tonight real quickly.
Oh, yeah?
Friend of the show, Rob, dropped by with his PSVR, and after we spent an hour getting it set up and functional, I got to fly an X-Wing.
Word?
Shoot down
That
some
sounds good.
It was pretty all right. Got to play a little Thumper.
Oh yeah.
In VR?
That's the
Yeah.
Beatles and Buttholes game.
Nails and buttholes, triangle buttholes. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
real good in VR.
Well, hold on. Rewind real quick. How did you fly
Yeah.
an X-wing? Were you playing like Battlefront or something? Or
Yeah, there was like a
Okay.
VR demo in Battlefront.
that seems like almost the perfect application of VR.
It's pretty neat. Yeah, like it's a little bit jarring at first. Just I've never experienced it before, but like you look left and there's the wing of the jet, and like it's weird to look down and not see your hands. Like my kids tried the VR before I did, and like my youngest, she wanted to try it, and she had it on for about a minute. She kept looking down at her hands. It's a real like, I'm I'm looking all around, but my hands aren't here.
Yeah.
Kind of freaked her out a little bit.
That's pretty cool though.
But yeah, I got to try that, so that's neat.
Does it worth, Brian? Because I tried out an Oculus Rift, and I would say that would probably worth if I had the
If you had the PC to back it
if
up.
I had the PC to back it up. Like, so I'm curious how the PlayStation VR feels.
It feels good from just a little bit that I tried it. I have nothing to compare it to.
Did you try?
No.
Charles had that VR thing when we were there for your birthday party with
No,
with his phone.
I already had a day-long headache going at that point, and I wasn't gonna.
Gotcha.
I wanted my first time to be special.
I tried it and it was, I would say, like marginally better than like the cheap, headsets that you can get, like this crappy one that I bought here for like $5, where you strap your phone into it and it's just got some lenses. It's basically like a Google Cardboard.
Mhm.
The problem with it is that like one, like the resolution is usually pretty low on that stuff, like, and then it's like magnifying your phone's screen, which isn't meant to be done.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, like I always find that to be really grainy and low res and look really pixely, and
Yep.
that's kind of how even the one that Charles had, where I think that was like a powered thing that was like
Mm-hmm.
actually plugging into the phone and drawing video from it, like this, it was still kind of grainy, and I don't know, it was all right. It was better, but still not great.
I still wanted to make some more advances, like we got cables everywhere. Like I want this to be wireless.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. For me, the kind of games I usually play I don't think they lend to VR very well.
Gotcha.
I think that's better for action games and driving games. And
I'm
it's
curious
cool.
why that wouldn't be wireless, because it's just sending a video signal. It shouldn't.
They'll probably introduce some more latency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I think isn't there a new Vive coming out that's going to be wireless? One of those.
Yeah, I think so.
Or maybe it's the Oculus.
They just released like a souped up Vive not that long ago, a couple weeks or a month or so ago, I want to say. But I don't think it was wireless yet, but I think that's coming. Yeah. I don't know.
It's expensive too. It's like I think that new one's like something like $800. Like it's
Cheaper than the graphics card
yeah.
that you'll need to get.
Yep. That's cool.
So,
Glad
yeah.
you guys got to check it out though. That's fun.
I tried that out tonight. I wasn't planning on playing Slay the Spire this week, but they opened up a beta for the new class.
Ooh, what is that?
You guys have no frame of reference. I won't talk about it very long, but it's called the Defect. It's like this robot magic user dude, and it is fantastic. Like every class has its own unique cards, its own full set of cards to pull from. It's great. I'm thrilled with that game, and it hasn't even left early access yet.
It's like this. I was looking it up a little bit because I knew you were super into the game and checking this out again, and it looks like it's like a robot what wields magic. It has like all these orbs and stuff.
You get these orbs that have like a minor small effect each turn, but like you can play cards that'll spend the orb to have a big like a bigger effect, so it'll do like 2 damage a turn, or you can spend it for like 7 damage all at once. You're building up these orbs and like finding ways to cycle through them, and it's great. So we don't have to go on about it, but I love Slay the Spire, and if you like card games and roguelikes, it's fantastic.
It's pretty cool. Good stuff, man. What else you been playing?
I got a game called The Adventure Pals.
Adventure Pals.
Yeah, on the old PlayStation 4. My boy saw it and thought it looked neat, so I picked it up. It's a real lighthearted co-op platformer. I don't remember who the developer is. It feels like the Behemoth. Like it's that kind of
It's got
tone.
that
Like
vibe.
it's just silly. Yep, real colorful and silly. It's a great co-op game for kids. Like, I don't know, like dying doesn't really set you back at all. Like you respawn in 5 seconds. If I go off the screen, it just pulls the other player up to me automatically.
That's great.
So, yep, there's like pretty much no stakes. Like as long as you don't both die at the same time, you keep going.
Can I ask a question about it?
Yeah.
Do you have a unicorn
Go
giraffe
on.
in a backpack?
Why, yes, Tyler.
Did I nailed that?
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
You saw what you saw.
Okay, all right.
When
I
you're
love that.
when you're in the air, you can hold the A button down, and the giraffe will spin its tongue around like a helicopter blade,
That's
like a
real
rotor, and slow your descent.
It's real good. It's reminding me very much of like a blend of Castle Crashers and what's the
Like
platform-
Battle
Block Theater. Yeah.
Like all three of my kids, ages 4, 6, and 11, all really like it.
That's cool.
It's not something I'd play on my own, but it's perfect for playing with kids.
It's cool.
That looks fantastic.
Mhm.
Wish I had. Yeah, Brian, can I borrow one of your kids so I can try this out?
Just
Have at it.
just send them on over.
just tape the thumbsticks to your dog's paws.
There you
Craig.
go. There you go.
Just
Oh, you know what I'll do? You know what I'll do? I'll get like the shitty Mad Catz controller and put peanut butter on all the buttons and stuff, and then just let my dog go nuts on it.
There you go. Your problems are solved.
Yeah, there we go. Now I have a kid to play with.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I know you're usually looking for a good couch co-op game to play with the kiddos, so
Yeah,
this looks perfect for that.
There aren't enough of those, but this is a really good one of those. It's only for 2 players, but
It's about right. I really dig that whole rubber band thing for the second player because my daughter loves to just like, I want to see if I can jump in that particular hole right there for about 5 minutes.
let's run in opposite directions and yell at each other.
Yeah. So this just goes yoink and pulls her right back. Kirby did that too, the Kirby demo that we were playing together. But yeah, good stuff, man. What else you got?
I also played one that you played as well.
Yeah.
Played a little Swords of Ditto.
Yeah, we did that. Where did my footage go of that? It's gone. I'll find it. No worries.
Yeah, it's there somewhere. Take another look.
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of roguelike. It's basically it plays like a Link to the Past. It's a top-down, very much like Zelda. But it's a roguelike, which is, I don't know. I don't think it's to the game's benefit. I'm kind of wishing I could just take my time exploring the world and, getting to know the world because it's absolutely gorgeous. Like it looks like a cartoon. Like Adventure Time, it's that style, which I don't inherently love, but it's really well animated and the controls are tight. The combat's challenging.
So I'm assuming, like, when you die, there's upgrades you keep, right?
No,
Because isn't that like the whole concept of roguelike is you die and just keep getting stronger?
that's one of my problems is I don't feel like I'm progressing every time I die. Like you keep your levels, but all the enemies will scale to your level. So it doesn't feel like I'm improving that way. And I'm wondering if maybe the boss's level, like the end boss's level is static. But I haven't gotten to her yet, so that part I don't know. But you keep your levels and you keep your gold. But if you spend your gold on something and you die, you lose the thing. So like it really just feels like I'm starting over from scratch every time.
Yeah, that's that's like a tough balance to strike with these types of games. I think Rogue Legacy was one of the best ones. I felt like.
Yep.
I was kind of excited. Like, I never felt like, oh, I died, so it's all, you know, it's all for naught now. Like, the way you built up those different, like, that skill tree to unlock the different perks and different possibilities for your people to spawn as and that kind of thing. I felt like that worked out really well. This, like, I didn't play for very long. I played for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. It's definitely borrowing a lot from A Link to the Past and Legend of Zelda. That part I love.
Yeah, like it feels great. Like the combat is challenging. Like everything feels crisp. It's just so far I'm super disappointed. Like the dungeons aren't great either.
Yeah, I jumped in on your game.
Generated. Yeah,
and it was like I was watching you run between these two rooms back and forth, and it was like I couldn't figure it out either. I was like, there's got to be something. I'm watching
there's
you.
Two locked doors. Nothing drops a key.
I'm watching you do the same thing I would
barred
do.
Shut, and nothing's making the door open. Like I spent at least 20 minutes, and then I just finally just like, okay, well, I'll just kill myself and start over, I guess.
Question: Did the invincible robot that laughed at you every time you entered the room eventually start to tilt you? Because
actually, no.
Really? Oh, because it was pissing me off.
It's not surprising that pissed you off, Tyler.
Every time you'd get in the room and it would spawn, it would kind of go like that.
Kind of cackle at you.
It would just kind of like give you this little weird giggle, and it just spawns infinite robots, and it's like I think what you were supposed to do in that room, because I looked at another one online, was I think you have to like knock those robots into like a submissive state, and then they turn into a block you can move around.
You like push them over the edge.
You push them somewhere, or you
can't kill them.
Yeah, you have to like push them onto a something, but it was very hard to tell. And like the particular room you were in, it was spitting out like 3 at a time at you. So I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do. But I don't know. It feels like
it's a damn shame.
Like, it's cool, but it also feels like because it's taking itself so lightly that I kind of don't care either. Like I get that feeling of like, well, they don't really give a shit. It's just kind of like, yeah, you died, idiot. Sorry.
It's humorous in a kind of a try-hardy, off-putting way.
Which is kind of a bummer because it seems like they actually did take the time to create a really cool world and have this backstory for it, and there seems to be kind of like this meta thing about, you know, the
every 100 years the hero comes along to save the, you know, or at least attempt to save the village.
So I don't know. Maybe
it's a bummer. It's a bummer.
It feels like it needs something, maybe a few minor tweaks to like the way the progression works, or like the speed of which you're doing it, because it feels like it takes a long time to level up, and that there isn't much that happens when you do that.
Good to level up. You get in like a nice little animation. That's about it.
Bummer.
Well, so yeah, I'm super disappointed at that.
We'll have to check it out, see how it progresses. Hopefully, maybe they make some changes. Is it still? It's fully out now, right? It's not early access anymore.
Yep, it's out. Okay.
Well, anything else, Grace?
Everything else on my list is on other lists too. So
okay,
I'm gonna yield the floor.
Before you yield the floor, Brian, we have a game that you and I both played as well.
Ooh.
And not really a game, but a demo. Yeah, the Detroit Become Human demo that dropped earlier this week. What was it, on Tuesday?
Yeah, just a few days ago.
Dropped on. Were you kind of surprised at how short that was?
No, not really. It was just a single, like a single scenario.
Because I finished it in like 10 minutes and thought, ooh, that felt shorter than I thought it would be, because I felt like I did everything that there was to be done in that 10-minute time frame.
Yeah, it was pretty short.
Okay.
I played through it, and then Kat played through it.
So, question.
Yes.
Did you ever fail?
No.
She and I had the same outcome. Oh, the exact same outcome?
Yeah. failures can happen, like at least according to the tree, like the branching tree they show you at the end,
Right,
it looked like
right.
there were points of failure, but
And there were, and I was completely incapable of doing that.
saved the girl. The android got shot in both of mine.
What do you mean the android got shot?
Daniel got shot down.
Like killed?
Yeah.
Oh, I never did that. The only way I was able to ever get that done is Daniel would reach out and grab the girl's hand to save her, but then like knock the other android off before he was. Or I'm sorry, no, Daniel is the bad guy. That's right,
Connor. Yep.
Connor.
So it's
My
a hostage
android.
situation.
My android never shot him down. He ran to him and grabbed the girl's hand as he was starting to jump, and so like kind of like threw the girl on backwards on the rooftop and like hip checked Daniel, and they both fell to their deaths.
I have
You
a
can take a
question.
step back.
Yeah.
It's a hostage situation on a rooftop.
Mm-hmm.
You control an android who is a like hostage negotiator,
Mm-hmm.
and the one holding the little girl captive is the android that like lived with that family. That's what you walk into. There's cops there. He's already shot a couple people. He's got the girl with the gun to her head on the edge of the roof. You're in there to try to fix things.
Yeah. He's already killed the father and a cop, I believe. So now they're trying to make him not kill the girl.
Yep. So you're walking around. You're examining objects in the crime scene. Sometimes it'll let you like replay like what happened. Like you find the father's body. You can sort of do a little replay of what happened when he got shot. So it shows him, like turning around, dropping the thing he's holding in his hand and falling to the ground.
Then you can go and pick up the thing and look at what was going on and see like more information about the scene to help you better. Because then what will happen is you'll be able to take that information that you find out and use it in the dialogue tree later. Where if you don't find that information out, that won't be an option in the dialogue trees.
Right.
Later on.
So this was very strongly reminiscent of Heavy Rain for me. Right down to the wonky control scheme and the cheaty camera. The running around does not feel good.
I've not yet played Heavy Rain, but this felt a lot like Until Dawn for me, with the way you make your choices, and your choices are permanent. Whatever you do, if you fuck that up, then you fuck that up.
Yeah, like I think you got closer to him than I did. I didn't really approach him very closely. I didn't approach him closely enough to try to grab him. I was just trying to talk him down from over there. Like I walked out with a gun, and he was like, "Are you armed?" And I was, like it'll pop up and it'll say, like, "Do you lie? Do you tell the truth?"
And what did you do?
I was like, "Yes, I am armed." And he's like, "Put your gun down." So I dropped my gun, and like my trust level with him went up. Like, it shows how I think your chances of success.
Yeah,
Your went up
percentage.
To like 90 at that point. It's like, okay, you won his trust by saying, "Yes, I am armed. Here's my gun."
Yeah.
So how'd it land for you, Krang?
The controls, like you said, are very wonky. It's real weird because I'm one of those weird people.
Yeah.
I've been playing first person shooters for a long time, since the GoldenEye days, and I learned inverted playing GoldenEye. So I play inverted to this day. And what sucks is the camera, if you try to do inverted on this, the camera will be inverted. So down is up and up is down while you're walking around. But then while you're like looking at the little scene that you're investigating, and you have to go to each of the points of interest within that scene, it's inverted there as well, and it feels real weird in that scene. Like I want it to be normal there, but inverted with the camera when I'm walking around. So this is going to be really tricky for me to play. I'll just have to be slow with it.
Yeah, so at the end of it, it shows you this big branching tree of all the different decision points that you could have made, and kind of like where those end. It's got some things grayed out that you didn't find. It shows the stats of what everyone chose, which I'm sure will be live afterwards. It was just the demo, so that wasn't accurate.
Oh, that wasn't accurate?
It's at 100% for every one of mine. It was like,
oh, no, not for me, dude.
Yeah, maybe it's just people on your friends list, and I was the first one to play it on my friends list. I don't know.
That could be. Because it was like...
There was 100 across the board.
I think with the fish, like there was the fish at the beginning, and I saved it, and it said like 70-30 or something like that. Like, so 3 out of 10 people are assholes, and they're just going to drop that fish back on the ground instead of throwing it in the tank. That's like...
Fucking fish. What are you talking about?
Apparently, Brian needs to go back and play this because the first 10 seconds, it's like right when you walk in the door, and there's that aquarium, there's that fish tank right there. There's that fish that's sitting on the ground, and you can pick it up. So I picked it up, and it says, save the fish or leave him. And I'm like, well, save the fish, duh. I'm standing right here. You can just go
fake news
and drop him right into the tank.
You're welcome, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome, Mike. 30% of people just left that fish there to die.
Well,
sorry.
It's a cold world.
Yeah.
And I do have to say, the dialogue, it ain't great. David Cage, he is not subtle. And this could have really benefited from some subtlety.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you found the iPad in the girl's room.
Yes.
So you pick up this tablet, you unlock it, and right away there's a video playing of the little girl and the android.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And,
I saw that.
She's like, Daniel, you're my best friend. We're going to be best friends forever. And it's just shit like that. It's like, that's a little bit too on the nose. Like, just, I don't know, show them laughing or playing. Don't just be like, boy, we love each other, and you're never going to put a gun to my head, Daniel. You're great. It's like, come on, just...
Boy, this sure isn't foreshadowing anything that's going to happen in my future.
Exactly.
Yeah,
this is something with Heavy Rain too. Like he writes very heavy-handed dialogue that hits you over the head with things. When you walk out, the little girl says, "Please, I'm begging you." I'm thinking like, no 8-year-old girl's going to use the phrase, "Please, I'm begging you." Like,
right.
It doesn't. It's not natural.
I did, however, like with this game that the dialogue options, the lines that play out after you choose an option match pretty closely what you think they should be,
right?
As opposed to like those games where you pick a dialogue option and the tone is
not
way
what you were
different
imagining.
than what you were imagining, and you end up going, wait, no, I sound like an asshole, and I didn't want to do that. I meant to be like comforting, and now I'm a dick.
Yeah, I've got some concerns.
That's one of my favorite things, or least favorite things rather, is like, the option is decline his request, and the way that your character ends up doing that is like slapping something out of his hand and being like, fuck you then. Like,
the newer BioWare games do that.
Yeah.
That's
That happens a lot in BioWare games. Yeah,
I think Fallout 4 suffered from that as well, pretty heavily.
You're like a simple no would have worked. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, I don't know, like Inspire the bad writing at times. Like it's very intense. It gives you lots of difficult decisions to make. Like I like it for that. I don't know. I've got my doubts. It's got some pretty sensitive subject matter in this game, and I've got some serious doubts about his ability to handle that well. Like child abuse and that kind of stuff. Like I've got some real concerns about that.
There's a news story coming up that
yep,
a little bit that might lend some
and like the whole
stuff to that.
Like the whole game's about kind of like the Battlestar Galactica thing of androids believing that they are human and kind of awakening, and that's kind of the whole drive of the game. But like I know in the game, like androids have to sit at the back of the bus, that kind of thing. Like I'm not joking.
Yeah, like in a little quartered off section.
Just hitting you over the head with it. I'm sure there's going to be probably android drinking fountains and android only bathrooms and like
right.
Just fucking dial it back.
Right.
Like it can be subtle and be played out in just the
Could
way
be.
that people
Could be.
look at the androids or the way that they react to things they say. It's like it would be even less heavy-handed to just go fuck you, you're not real with some of the dialogue from the actual humans than to do like
That's another thing. That's kind of what it was. Like when you
let's-
show up and talk to the cop in charge, you're asking about the suspect, and the suspect's behavior leading up to this, and he's just like, "Shut the fuck up and get out there."
yeah, that
It's
was
just
really
like,
well done.
Okay,
And then,
that could have helped me, but okay.
and that that was well done to display how like these people feel about androids and the way that the mom reacted too. Like
That's reasonable.
That's
Android's got her kid, so
yeah, that's really well done, and it doesn't need to be fucking Jim Crow era segregation law with androids to make me think, oh, people don't like androids that much.
Yeah. So are you guys is your mind changed at all by this? Are you still planning on picking this up when it goes full release, or what do you think?
I really don't know.
I am gonna, depending on how long it is. So I'm gonna look to see how long this game is before I pick it, because isn't it supposed to be a $60 title?
I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I look this up and it's gonna be like a 4-hour game, then no. But if it turns out it's gonna be like a 10-20 hour game, then maybe I'll be more inclined to it. It depends. If it's like super short, then it just feels weird buying a game like that for full price.
I should let you borrow Heavy Rain.
According to the Googles, it is 8 to 10 hours long.
Yeah, that's a little side.
But with how many options are in the game, like there should be replayability, right?
Well, yeah, I replayed this demo 3 times and I got the same ending all 3 times. Because that's just the way things, even when I was like trying not to. I was like, no, I'm gonna be an asshole. I'm gonna try to get myself killed here on this, and it didn't work out.
But you didn't get Daniel killed.
Well, no, every time Daniel fell to his death.
Oh, see, he got shot in mine.
No, he went to jump with the girl.
Gotcha.
And the first 2 times I was close enough to reach out and grab her, and then I fell to my death as well. The 3rd time I was a bit bigger of an asshole, and I was probably the same amount of an asshole, but I didn't walk close enough, so she just fell with him, and I walked away.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Can't win them all.
Happens.
Yeah, Daniel got shot in mine, and of course, as he's dying, he's like, "Connor, I trusted you."
You were the chosen one.
Yep. I have the high ground, Daniel.
Yeah, they're just letting him have it. Westworld
Well,
style.
like even if it's not executed perfectly, like I love how ambitious his games are. Indigo Prophecy, Heavy Rain, like he swings for the fences, and I love that.
He's getting into some shit too.
Yep.
Maybe he should have somebody else write the dialogue though.
Maybe.
Well, Kring, since you jumped on the this train, what else you been playing this week, man?
Well, Tyler, do you want to feel sad or happy?
Ooh. Usually,
Right
give me the sad first.
God of War is still fantastic.
Yeah.
It's still a really, really good game, and I got through that all fine, and got to hang out with them light elves.
Yeah.
Got myself a little light bow, shoot these crystals now, and it like makes these little like light bridges and stuff that you can walk across. And
Scans.
oh boy, Tyler, this game is just fantastic. I could not praise this game highly enough.
Is the combat still holding up okay?
The combat's fantastic. It's way better than what I expected it was
Brian?
going to be.
It's fine. It's fine.
Brian is a bit out of his comfort zone with this game, though.
Yeah,
so
it's not my kind of
yeah,
combat.
Is this your first game of War, Brian?
I played the first God of War,
Yeah.
and I loved that. And then I just kind of, I don't know, picked up the second, I was just like, oh, this is more of the same stuff. Like, it's not new and fresh, the way the first one felt. So,
Whereas I played all three of them twice and loved every second of it.
Did any of the other ones do this where you got like loot from them?
Yeah.
Like
the bracers
not
of
like,
focus.
I guess
and
not like that kind of a system. There were, I guess,
it was
there were
more
these
the Darksiders Zelda style
like
of
the
like
upgrade tree kind of
you
stuff.
unlocked the new
more of
thing.
the upgrade tree kind of stuff. Yeah,
Right.
you didn't get like loot. No.
Man,
Yeah,
I know this is news to absolutely no one, but I really like having different armor and stuff that actually makes a difference.
And you're right, it looks different when you put it on.
You know what? I lied. There were different skins that you could unlock. There was a challenge mode at the end of at least I know the first God of War game. There was this challenge mode, and you could unlock different skins for Kratos, where you'd have all sorts of different armor. One of them was Cow Kratos. You would wear like a cow suit.
Cow toes?
Yeah, cow toast. So there were different options. So I mean, like you could go and work for that cow skin, Tyler. That would be the Tyler one.
Yeah,
Work
that stuff's
for that
fine.
house,
Like
yeah.
that was kind of more of a relic of I think that era of gaming. Where it was like, oh, beat the game and then get new skins to go through the game again. Like now, a lot of games are doing this, where even like Assassin's Creed and most games that come out now have some kind of a loot system like this. Shadow of War had the same kind of thing. Yeah, I just really dig that. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely here for the environments and the story and the dialogue. Like, I'm finding Kratos to still be kind of one note. Like, it's not rage anymore. It's more like he's stoic.
Okay.
But that's kind of his whole character right now, and I'm hoping he continues to develop.
His character seems to be annoyed with everything else around him, not him.
With boy?
I do kind of appreciate like his kid called him out. He's just like, you know what, you only talk to me when you need something. He's, kind of like, fuck you, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I'm curious to know when we can finally somehow figure out a way to get Tyler to play this game. I want to know how true this is to the lore, because there's quite a bit of lore that this goes into.
I'm betting it's pretty
and mythology, and I'm betting it's pretty true.
Well, I mean, I think what the other God of War games, if I'm remembering correctly, it's definitely an interpretation. They're taking a lot of liberties with it, but it's still representative of what's there. Like, and that's true of anything like this. Like the Marvel has their own take on, Norse mythology in the Thor stuff. Every time it's just like anything, it gets retold in different ways.
I do think it's neat that they've got multiple, like mythologies in this game. Like most works of fiction are like, this is Greek or this is Egyptian. Like,
right.
They've kind of got Greek and Norse acknowledged in this world both.
They're saying that it's kind of all, they're all
right,
existing in some form or another. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess they were considering making this like Egyptian instead of Norse.
Oh, that would have fallen so flat for me. It would not be a thing that I would want to, because I played Assassin's Creed Origin and I thought, man, I'm gonna love this Greek mythology stuff, and I was like, I really don't care. Egyptian, sorry. I was like, I really don't care.
For every
I think
person,
they could definitely make it work, though.
Yeah,
Egyptian mythology is still
they
kind
probably
of cool
could.
in a way.
Tombs and pyramids.
For every person that's like me and is just, showing up for everything that has the Viking runes and stuff on it, there's probably somebody that
more
feels
Viking bullshit.
Right. There's probably somebody that likes the Egyptian stuff. Just
more beards and axes.
There's probably somebody that feels the way Tyler feels about samurais.
Yeah. I don't really care. So that's cool though. There's been some memes floating around of like Kratos with this big cheesy smile on his face. That's not a real thing, right? You don't get to see him like grinning or anything.
There's supposed to be a photo mode being patched in.
Okay.
I think, where you can maybe fuck with the expressions.
It's simultaneously one of the most terrifying and hilarious things to me, just seeing Kratos with a big shit-eating grin on his face. I
can't imagine that they would ever have Kratos grinning or smiling or anything like that.
They released a thing like a render of him without the beard, and that was pretty weird too. Like, I don't know. It doesn't look that different from old Kratos, but it was still weird enough to be like, oh yeah, I guess he does have a face under that thing. But yeah, I'm bummed. I want to play it really bad.
I've got to say the voice actor that they got to play Kratos is Christopher Judge, and he is fantastic at this role. And I love every second of dialogue that comes out of Kratos' mouth, even though he's one note, just because the quality of the voice works so good. Because I watched the shit out of Stargate SG-1, and so every time Kratos says "indeed," I get like a little schoolgirl like giggle, because that's Teal'c saying "indeed" again.
Yep.
I love it.
What about you, Luke? Is it doing anything for you? Are you as jelly as I am that you're not playing?
I have never played a God of War game.
Okay.
What?
I've also never really had a PlayStation. So
yeah.
Isn't the Switch your first console since like the Super Nintendo?
I had a PS2, but really only had it for Guitar Hero. So
You should. Do you still have that PS2?
no, I gave it away.
It's too late.
But to be honest, like if they were to port this to PC, I would probably at least
they're not gonna
play it. Well, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna play it,
Luke.
so
They're not gonna, Luke.
It's Santa Monica
All right.
Studios, dude.
Yeah.
It's Sony's own.
Santa
I
Monica.
didn't say there was a
Jeez.
chance of it happening. I said if it happened.
It is. I feel the same way. Like it's such a bummer that this whole thing still exists. This console war. I understand its need. I understand its.
And then
It's like
Tyler
Sony
Sony
owns
owns the
Studio.
fact.
Yeah.
It's like the one
Tyler-
decent thing that Microsoft has going right now for their game studio is the Windows 10 cross-platform with Xbox.
But then doesn't Tyler bitch about the fact that there's nothing to play on his Xbox?
Well, no, but
So
I mean, I'm not bitching
You don't-
now because I can.
You don't
just
want
play
things
the
to play on
shit.
your Xbox.
Exactly. I don't.
You don't want to play on your Xbox.
I don't want them to do that to me. I don't want them to do what Sony's doing to me right now.
If they put God of War on the Xbox, you'd be bummed out.
Yeah,
no.
I kind of would.
Cross-play it
I
on
mean,
PC.
I'd play it, but
There you go.
but yeah,
You just stay up until
No,
5 in
I
the
do
morning when
like-
the TV's free.
I like the lore. The combat seems decent. It looks like a great visually looking game.
I'll tell you,
Yeah,
the combat feels, because Luke, you played the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games.
I did play the
The
Shadow.
combat is every bit as good as those.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which that style of combat is typically not my jam, but it was okay in those games.
it's heavy. Everything is purposeful, and pulling off like combo moves and stuff is real satisfying. Game.
I love the axe, and the throwing of it.
Oh yeah, and when you throw the axe and you hit a dude like in the face, and it then flies up in the air and lands behind him because you hit him in the helmet, and then you recall it, it hits him in the leg and sweeps his legs out from under him, and he ends up falling on the ground. It's real satisfying.
so
Yeah,
Kring,
The axe reminds me of a recent movie that was just released. No spoilers.
okay, all right,
Quiet Place.
nailed it. Speaking of that,
I said no
axe-
spoilers, Brian.
Sorry.
Speaking of that axe, its name is interesting. Kring mentioned the lore earlier, so it's called the Leviathan axe, right?
Correct.
The Leviathan is a thing from Hebrew mythology, if I'm not mistaken. It's a big fucking water snake.
Hang
thing.
on. Is there Hebrew mythology, or is that just called, Christianity?
Yeah, same thing.
AKA
Or Judaism.
Mythology, whatever.
Well, I think that's the all-encompassing term for all of that, all the different branches of that. But yeah,
Wouldn't it be a theology?
what the
Oh,
fuck
fuck it, it's a
ever,
mythology.
Kring.
Who cares?
I'm
It's a
not
mythology.
I'm not a.
It's all
I'm
fake
not a.
anyway.
Okay, let's try to avoid exactly that. But yeah, it's definitely not a Norse thing that it's named after. That's the only thing I thought was kind of weird, Do they get into like the origins of that thing at all, or is it just kind of like, oh, here's your axe?
You know that it is originally his wife's axe that
Okay.
she gave to him, I believe, and he mentioned something about the handle and like nobody fucking with the handle, I believe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like the blacksmiths get into it, and the blacksmiths are like all the NPCs are fantastic.
Yes.
Like both blacksmiths and the witch. Real big fan of those.
That's cool.
I love when she tells Kratos to go out and like find these white flowers, and he just looks at her like, Jesus fucking Christ, you want me to go out and find flowers? I love grouchy Kratos.
I killed Zeus, and now I gotta go fetch your fucking, king's foil for you. Like, what's the deal?
It's weed.
You know the Athelas herb, right?
King's Foil.
Yeah. So okay, that's cool. That might be a little hint at some stuff to come. I don't know. That's pretty neat. Anyway, cool. God of War. I'm gonna steal one of your PS4s and play it soon. Luke.
Hello.
Hey, man. How you doing?
I am good.
What you been playing, man?
Well, kind of went to Port Huron, hung out with some friends today. Shout out to Lee, Emily, Brian, Cole, Gary, Jalinda, and Shelly.
Oh shit, the whole posse.
And while we were there, we played a game called Fibbage on Xbox.
Fibbage.
What is a fibbage?
Fibbage is a party game. And what it is basically is you have to... It's like a trivia game, all right? But everyone plays on their phone.
What?
So what happens is there's a question that comes up with a blank. You then have to make up a lie on your phone. After everyone puts in a lie, it puts up all the answers on the screen. So all the lies plus the correct answer. And you have to pick what you think is the truth. So you get points for everyone who picks your lie, and you get points if you pick the truth.
Is this
Balderdash.
aren't there different variants of this game? Aren't there like different game modes that you can play through on this?
There's probably different versions of it.
I think I've played this.
Well, I've only played the one, and there's like different categories you can pick. Each it goes in this turn, and there's a list of categories that one person can pick from. But it's a lot of fun. Each game is probably only like 10-15 minutes long.
Okay.
And real easy to get into. But yeah, that's a ton of fun. Real easy to pick up and play.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And you said you're
pretty
doing that through the Xbox and your phones?
Yep. Yeah, that's on Xbox. Yeah, you just go to a website and you put in the room code and your name, and everyone joins. Real smooth process.
That's cool, man.
Usually when you combine, a game on a console plus a website and joining in, it always seems like stuff would time out or people not connect properly, but that was very smooth.
Who was the best? Who won?
I don't remember who
Not
won.
Luke,
Yeah.
obviously.
No, like the last game I was dead last.
Get good, Luke.
Yeah, I should have. I think the first game I was like mid-pack or something.
All right. That sounds real fun. I wonder if
It's a fun party game. It really is.
Is it solely? Do you know if it's solely a like, hey, you got to be in the same room kind of thing, or could someone like be streaming it or something? I don't know, like sharing their screen and you could do it that way, or is it?
I imagine being in the same room would be all the fun of it.
That's
Yeah,
true,
that is half
yes.
the fun.
That is.
You could definitely do it if you had no delay on a stream. You could do it that way.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna feel real good, Tyler, when you've written a sweet lie and you're all alone while everybody else is in the same room together, and you've got like 5 people to vote on your lie. And you stand up and say "suck it" to your dog.
I'm thinking of like doing it over Skype or something like that. Discord, whatever. But yeah, I feel you. Seems like definitely a more couch-based thing.
Yeah.
That's cool though. Good stuff. And
Yeah.
then-
Other than that, I've been playing this little game. I'm not sure if you guys heard of it. It's called Sea of Thieves.
What is that?
What?
It's basically a shipping simulator on the seas. So really, all you do is you just pick up some goods and go to another area, sell stuff to merchants.
Sounds pretty boring.
Yeah,
Sounds
good.
like there's not
is there-
a lot to do.
Is there anything else?
Why
in
would
the
anyone
game,
want
or
to do
is
that?
it?
Nope, that's it. We can
Why
move
would
on
they
now.
make
Wow.
a game like that?
Yeah.
would
Why
they-
isn't there any content?
No, all jokes aside, Sea of Thieves still fantastic. We've basically been playing Friday and Saturday nights until the wee hours of the morning, and just being absolutely brutal.
Yeah, every time I think I've seen everything, it's still like the way that the different PvP interactions specifically play out are definitely varied enough to bring a lot of excitement to our game sessions.
I was excited to last night finally get to see the Kraken. That was my first experience with the Kraken.
It was pretty funny how that happened too.
Is a lot easier when you have cannonballs, unlike my first experience.
Wow, Brian straight up left when we started talking about Sea of Thieves.
I'm surprised it wasn't double middle fingers.
I'm surprised it took this long.
I'm surprised he hasn't quit the show yet.
But yeah,
You know what,
was Tyler, you, me, and a rando, and then Kring, you were on an island getting supplies, I think.
Well,
No,
so,
Mike
so
was there
Tyler,
too.
Tyler
okay.
was.
I can remember
Tyler,
the story.
Shout out Len Lunchbox.
Tyler was still alive, and he was, and all the three of us had all died, and we picked up the new boat, and so then I was like, oh, I'm gonna just shoot myself onto that island and get supplies, and Luke's like, oh shit, Kraken, as I'm like gearing up for supplies, trying to find the frickin' mermaid.
Get on the boat.
Yep. So I come back and Mike gets scooped up by the Kraken like right away. And he's up there for a while. And he's like, guys, is this thing gonna put me down? And I turn and look, and Mike is just fucking suspended in midair. Like he's in the T-pose, which like it's when they're rigging the animations for a model in game, that's the pose that they put him in. That's like the default thing. They look like they're on a cross or something. So Mike is just levitating in the air, Christ-like, and with nothing around him. Like the tentacle has gone away, so he's bugged out. So we have to fight this thing, 3v the Kraken. But we persevere and we sail away, and Mike is still stuck midair, just hovering over the ocean like a god. So we try brigging him. We put him in the brig, which works. He gets put in the brig, and then we kind of forgot about him for a while. Truth be told, but
We're like,
there's minimum
you
time you have to be in the brig for.
Yeah, you stay in the brig for so long, and then all of a sudden, what was it? 15 minutes later, Mike goes, "Guys, how long do I have to stay in the brig for?"
Like, oh shit, sorry, man.
Oh, just a few more minutes. You're almost there.
So we let him out, and then he can't walk. He's stuck in the T-pose still. All he can do is sword lunge to move around. So he gets himself into the ocean, and we decide to mercy kill him with a exploding barrel. So that finally fixed him. That unglitched him.
Because you were like, get yourself into the ocean and just drown. But he couldn't move, so he couldn't go under the water, so he couldn't drown. He's just sitting there floating.
It was pretty funny. It was, one of the silliest bugs that I've encountered yet in the game. It was pretty entertaining. Oh, the part where I finally see Mike up in the sky is coming up pretty soon on the video here. But yeah, that was entertaining. It was a good night. Yeah,
that was good, collecting another skull fort and then going to turn in and just having everyone swarm us
Oh my
while we're
God.
selling and just fighting everyone off.
Yep, it was. A lot of our treasures are hard fought. Like we don't tend to have it go very smooth. We have to take a lot of people out to get that stuff turned in, and yeah, that night was no exception.
And we were basically unsinkable.
Yeah, our boat was undefeated that night. So
That boat, that looked rough at the end of that. That's for sure.
But it's a lot of fun. We're still having a great time with it. So much so that there's some rumblings of maybe some extra Sea of Thieves related content coming sometime. So if that would be interesting to you, email the show. Send an email to mail@questlogcast. find us on Twitter. Let us know. We're finding the Sea of Thieves talk to be entertaining. We might have more of that in a separate kind of capacity. So there you go.
Yeah,
There's a little tease.
speaking of pirate talk,
Yeah.
being into pirate related stuff, I found a show called Black Sails, which apparently was on
Yes.
Stars a few years ago. And so I started watching that, and holy fuck, is that good.
Yeah, I'm
Basically,
really into it too.
is Game of Pirates, is what it is.
Game of Boats. Yeah.
Game of Boats.
Can I just say something though? Because I know Tyler is deep into this show now too. You're like halfway through the second season or something like that, or
Almost-
finished the second
almost
season.
Yeah, we're
almost
both
like-
about to finish up second season.
So, what's real weird to me is Tyler, for a long time, viewed pirates with the same sort of disdain that he views samurai, and now all of a sudden is just diving straight into this pirate realm feet first.
It's not so much disdain as it is just kind of apathy. I just kind of didn't care. Like, it didn't really do anything for me. But yeah, like, I don't know. Ever since we've been slooping it up, ever since the beta, my interest in pirates has risen exponentially. So yeah, I decided to check it out, and the show's really good. Like,
It's brutal.
yeah, it doesn't have the same quite the same issue of crossing my misery threshold as Game
Yeah,
of
it's
Thrones
not so
does.
miserable.
So there's a lot less torture, just straight up torture.
There's a lot less torture. There's a lot less harm
Fighting.
to kids.
There's a lot of nudity,
There is a lot of that.
a lot of killing, a lot of explosions,
yeah,
a lot of swearing.
yeah. Yeah.
So you would say that the amount of castration talk in that show is far less than the amount in Game of Thrones.
So far, that hasn't been a thing. I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
Spoilers.
We're only halfway through. There's a lot of airtime left.
There's time for them to figure that out.
They can get the castration quota filled pretty quickly.
But it's the same thing that makes any show good. Well developed characters. Good writing.
The characters are real good, which you told me earlier today. I didn't know, but a lot of the characters were based on actual pirates.
Oh yeah, you got your John Silver.
Long John Silver.
Long John Silver. You got.
He's got great hush puppies.
Yeah. Hush puppies are on point.
Captain Jack Rackham is awesome.
Calico Jack, yeah. You got Charles Vane was a real pirate.
Tell me that they
Bond-
make fun of. Tell me that they make fun of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies by making like a real shitty drunk guy and calling him Jack Sparrow.
No,
So
why would
far,
they do
no.
that?
No, it's a pretty serious show, Kring. It's not. It's not for.
not a comedy.
Come on.
But
Nothing's much very funny about the show.
there's definitely some humor. It's just
Not a lot.
it's not the focal point of the show. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm into it. I'm all in on pirates right now. What's the term? Bullish? I'm bullish on pirates right now. Pirates are way up. I just need someone who isn't Tom Cruise to try to sell me on the samurai experience, and then we'll be good. That's a reference to the movie The Last Samurai for all you kids out there, with starring Tom Cruise. He was in it. White guy was The Last Samurai. There you go.
It's a decent movie.
It actually is.
Last Samurai is a great movie.
It actually is a funny movie. And actually, for a small time, I do remember it. Actually, it kind of turning me on the whole Asian aesthetic. So there you go.
Tyler bought a katana because of it.
I looked at a few. When I was
I don't know. There's a lot of, honor and justice and that kind of thing. And I know how you feel about that stuff. So.
I have a real justice boner that I need to sate. That's it's a common theme. Well, good stuff, man. Hey, why don't we get into some of the news, huh? Here it comes. Here comes the news. It's brought to you by Sea of Thieves. Let's watch Brian go away again when we talk about Sea of Thieves. Hey, remember when we were talking about that their Quantic Dream and the Detroit Become Human? Do you remember
Yes.
that?
Yeah, I remember those times.
Well, they're in a little bit of hot water. They're suing some French media over some articles that were published about toxic work conditions over at Quantic Dream. Pretty serious accusations, but it seems like it was well vetted. I think there were 3 different news sources that...
Yeah, they were pretty major publications. This wasn't someone's blog it showed up on, you know.
Right. So they posted some articles that was basically a rundown from many confirmed sources that there was a lot of very questionable behavior going on over at Quantic Dream. Stuff from like super inappropriate photoshops of people getting posted around the office, and just kind of a general
racist jokes flying around.
Yeah, sexist, misogyny kind of stuff.
You mean you're telling me the same development studio that decided it was a good idea to bring back Jim Crow era segregation with the androids is having problems with racism in their workplace? I'm shocked, Tyler.
Bingo.
Shocked.
So the reaction to it is even more disturbing, I think, than finding out of the stuff themselves. So what they're doing is suing the journalists that reported on this stuff. David Cage and, crew flew to, I think it was New York, to show their game, and then also let it fly that they were in the middle of suing these French journalists. Yeah.
Yep. And the quote from the CEO after this article came out was likewise not encouraging. He says, Quantic Dream categorically denies the allegations. As for myself, I'm furious and outraged by these accusations, which I take very seriously. I will take all possible legal actions to defend my honor. Not, we are appalled by this. We're going to, find out what happened and take care of it. But it was just like, no, fuck everyone. You guys are all wrong.
When he said that, did he tip his fedora after the conversation after saying, I will defend my honor? That's
one can only imagine, but that's not how you respond to that. Because
boy,
I'm sure the CEO doesn't know everything that goes on.
Yeah.
You can't just categorically be like, nope, didn't happen.
I could bullshit 7 better ways to respond to that right now. And
the first way that's better. No comment.
That.
Yep. And
pretty much literally anything but that.
And then the quote from David Cage is another favorite that you'll probably all recognize in various forms. He says, you want to talk about homophobia? I work with Ellen Page, who fights for LGBT rights. You want to talk racism? I work with Jesse Williams, who fights for civil rights in the USA.
I have a black friend.
I have a black friend. I can't be racist. Some of my best friends are black.
It's so bad that it almost seems not real.
And this is a month before their big game comes out too.
Their PR people
throwing punches at journalists.
Yeah, the very people that you're hoping, praise your game in some form, take your stuff and run with it, plaster it all over the place. This isn't the kind of press that you want. I have to imagine that if they have a PR department, that it's literally on fire right now. And they're trying to strangle this dude because he just seems to be stepping all over his own balls every chance he gets. I don't know. It's crazy.
Are they suing them for defamation or libel, or what are they? What's the actual charge? I'm
sure it's one of those things, defamation.
Right.
Or,
I don't think they specified.
It's French courts, so I don't know how the laws work over there.
Because as far as I know, at least over here, it's real hard to prove that kind of stuff. It's real hard.
Yeah. I mean, you mean to prove damages and that sort of thing to say,
right, to prove that to prove that, because libel is something that they have to knowingly be printing falsehoods and doing so maliciously, I believe. And to prove that is what's happening here is real difficult.
Well, and especially when you're talking about the journalists, not the employees. The journalists didn't sign any kind of NDA or anything like that.
Right.
They're reporting on a story, and
And they're reporting the information that they got from a source. Like,
Right.
that's not necessarily them uttering falsehoods against you.
The thing that sucks, and I've heard this kind of echoed by some other outlets too, is that even if this all blows over, even if those journalists don't, have anything bad happen to them, they, end up winning the suit and whatever, it's bad because it sets this precedent that, like, well, if you want to run a story like that, you might have to deal with this bullshit, because these assholes will bring you to court and put you through all this crap, and maybe it's better to just run the story about Fortnite and their, whatever, instead of trying to tackle
There's a lot of this culture in gaming of just,
That
keep
sucks.
this crap out of my hobby. I don't want to hear this.
Right.
Social justice warriors are ruining everything.
Kind of like the people who bitch about the protests in football. It's like the same sort of thing. Like, oh, this is my fun time. Keep politics out of my fun time.
Well, I mean, I think if anyone were to sit down and seriously think about it, like, we all love video games here, and if the conditions that they're being made under are, this bad, where people are having to endure this kind of, toxicity in their workplace, we should be flushing that out, and we're doing that all over the place.
Not to mention that, like crunch culture, where it's like, all right, everyone, 80-hour weeks, 12-hour work days, 16-hour work days, we got to get this done. Like,
right.
I'd rather wait an extra 6 months than have people have to, lead shitty lives to get my game on time.
I think a lot of that comes with age too. Like, when I find out, like, oh, a game's coming out next year, I'm like, oh, cool. I'll pencil that in mentally, and that'll be fine. I got plenty to do between now and then. When I was 13, I was like, it's a whole year away. What am I gonna do?
Right. Whereas now I'm just gonna go kill a bunch of other dumb pirates for the next year. And I was already gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. This is it's disturbing all over, and I wasn't clearly. I'm not in the market to buy Detroit Become Human anyway, but this would definitely give me pause.
It's a factor, and it's not like they don't have examples to take from it on how to handle a sex scandal, and
right.
It's 2018. Like, there's plenty of examples out there for how to respond to this kind of thing.
Right, we literally just spent a whole year doing this. 2017 was kind of, a reckoning for the media and this kind of behavior, and I don't know. I feel like these are the kind of people that need to get left behind. The ones willing to just sue journalists over reporting the truth, and doesn't matter. Fuck you, got mine. I'm gonna defend my honor no matter the cost, kind of shit. It's kind of appalling. So fuck David Cage is basically what I'm trying to say. There you go. There's my hot take.
Yeah.
Sponsor us, Quantic Dream.
I don't know if you read the bit in there about like having a nude model of Ellen Page.
That got leaked.
Beyond Two Souls, like, she didn't authorize it or pose for it, but I guess there was a shower scene in the game, and they had a nude model on the disc. Wasn't in the game, but it was data mined.
And that got plastered all over the internet, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boy, people are real fucking weird.
And like, so,
like,
since you never see the things that nude model displayed, they could have been rendered without all of the details that nude model displayed, but from what I read, they were all there. Anyway.
You can get literally whatever you want on the internet. Why are people working so hard on naked video game models? Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not the target market, obviously.
Well, and again, knowing what kind of culture goes around the office apparently in this place, like...
True.
Yeah.
It sounds like a boys' club.
For sure. Well...
Locker room talk.
I hope they lose this lawsuit, and I hope that... they learn their lesson. Let's put it that way. Maybe they can turn it around and stop doing those kinds of things. Let's cross our fingers, huh? Hey, you know what? That's the end of the news segments. That means it's time for this. It's a topic. It is a topic. And this week we are talking about games with which we have put over 100 hours into, and some that we keep putting more in after that. What do you guys, who wants to start? Who wants to talk about their 100-hour games?
Tyler,
Yeah?
before we start this,
Yeah.
go into your Steam library right now.
I'm going into it. Hold my Kraken rum. I'm going in.
How many hours do you have in Skyrim?
Well, Aaron, it's a great question.
Now you have to calculate all the different versions you have.
All the different platforms.
Yeah.
Right.
Add the Xbox 360 onto this.
Well, I can't add the Xbox 360 into it because it and Steam don't talk.
Just try to imagine
If I had to ballpark,
how much.
If I had to ballpark, I would give a conservative 500 hours to Skyrim on the Xbox 360.
Five is conservative.
Because I gave, let's see, I had it for about a year before I got it on PC, I want to say. So I would say about 500. Now,
So at least an hour and a half a day
yeah.
for a year.
Yeah. According to Steam, in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Standard Edition, I have 724 hours on record. Now, we also have to add 64 hours for the Skyrim Special Edition version that is also in Steam.
The cherry on top.
Yeah.
Wait. How many on the Switch?
I don't have it on Switch.
Don't lie to us, Tyler. How many on the Switch?
I don't have it on Switch yet.
We see you on there, Tyler.
If someone were to gift it to me, I would play it on the Switch and probably sink another 100 hours into that.
If there was going to be anyone that would play Skyrim on the Switch while pooping, it would be you.
This guy right here. I do want to play it though. I hear the motion stuff is actually pretty good on it, so it's on a. I'm waiting for like a Nintendo tries to do the summer sale kind of thing, or something equivalent of that. Maybe it'll show up on there. Who knows? But yeah, I guess I'll go first. Yeah, Skyrim is kind of the quintessential version of this for me. It's a game that I can. You can tell me, hey, they just dropped something new, or there's this really cool mod, or somebody discovered,
or it's Thursday,
or it's Thursday. And I could go play Skyrim and have a good time. It's kind of like when Brian, not to take the wind out of your sails here, but the way you talk about Darkest Dungeon, about like just being like, I'll just start a new one. Here we go.
Yeah, every
Let's
now and
see
again,
what
it's
happens.
like, fuck, I'm gonna play Darkest Dungeon today.
Yep. I can do that with Skyrim anytime because it's fun to just start a brand new character, decide like, he's gonna be an archer, and head off into the woods and start hunting deer until I find something that pulls me away from that. It's the perfect game for me. So, yeah. What about you guys? How's Skyrim rank on your lists?
It's on mine for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what I've got put in on the. Let me see what Steam says. Steam probably says not a lot because I didn't put a whole lot in to it. Oh yeah, only 25 on Steam, but I did put a few hundred on the Xbox 360 when I originally played it. For me, it's not a game that I can you get way into the mods, and I really don't get mods all that much. So
Yeah, they don't do much for me.
They mod your game. They do a lot for you. You can change everything.
that's literally what they do.
You're just having fun wrong. Brian, go ahead. How little time did you spend in Skyrim? Break my fucking heart.
I had it on
6 hours.
No, I had it on the PlayStation 3, and I want to say I put 15 hours into it.
Brian finished making his character.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I've put 15 hours into character creation at least.
I'm sorry, Tyler.
Huh. But Oblivion was high for you. That was a big one.
Yeah, I don't know. When I came to Skyrim, it didn't take long for it to feel like Oblivion again.
Yeah, which is
you made me
great.
say it. You pulled it out of me. Okay, you drug it out of me. You did this.
I will admit, similar feelings as Brian on Oblivion. I feel like it's all part of that whole thought of going into a world the first time is better than successive times, and Oblivion and Skyrim feel very similar. The only reason I ended up putting more,
the same world.
well, I mean, like from a from a gameplay aspect.
No, Tyler, you don't mean nothing by it.
Hashtag not my Tamriel. Got it. Okay. All right.
The only reason I ended up putting more into Skyrim is because they ironed out a lot of kinks that were present in Oblivion, especially with like the level up system, and that was all real clunky and terrible, and I didn't like it. But Skyrim does a lot better.
Hey, Luke, why are you wrong about the Elder Scrolls? Why don't you tell me?
I'm wrong about the Elder Scrolls because my favorite Elder Scroll is not Oblivion or Skyrim, it's Morrowind.
Yeah, you're wrong.
There it is.
How many hours did you have into Morrowind, if you had to guess there, Luke?
I would say it was probably closer to the 400 or 500 range.
Okay.
This was back when, I was, I think just finishing high school, going into college, lived at home, only had dial-up internet.
But remember though, Tyler, 450 of those hours was spent reading all the dialogue.
There was a lot of that.
It was real good dialogue though. It was also trying to level up my punching ability by punching the crabs.
You gotta punch those crabs.
No, but that was the time period where like Warcraft wasn't really a thing. Online wasn't really possible with dial-up, so I just let myself get lost in Morrowind and running around the island and collecting different stuff for my house that I decided was mine, even though there was no feature to buy a house in the game.
Yeah, it's funny. We talked about this whole topic kind of earlier in the week in our hangout, and Brian was like, "Oh, no older games," because I was like kind of recounting all of the ones that I've sunk a lot of time into somewhat recently, and it's weird because I have this like division where I don't think about the hours spent in a lot of those older games because it was just like a thing I played. Like I didn't think about it as like clocking hours into it like I kind of do now.
I had to do some thinking.
Yeah. Because I mean, I couldn't tell you how many hours I put into the original Legend of Zelda over the years. Like I played that game all the time when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. You don't realize it either.
Right. And you don't think about it as like, I wonder how many hours I've spent in this game. Like there was no way to track that kind of stuff. That didn't start happening really until kind of the Xbox 360 era, and you started seeing achievements and all these different things where it was tracking these stats. That kind of wasn't really part of gaming, and so I don't think of those early games in that way at all.
I can make some good guesses.
Yeah. What do you got that's older that you've sunk a lot of time into?
I've got a big old list for my 100 hours. I don't know if that's what we all did, but
I did write a list.
We can go around the horn and just kind of name them off.
I'll just run down them. So
sure, yeah.
If you need to make a sandwich.
This is my time to leave now.
Take a dump. Do whatever you got to do.
The oldest one I think on the list would be Tecmo Super Bowl.
Okay.
Shut the front door.
Entertainment system.
Over 100 hours in the Tecmo Super Bowl. Brian, how many times have you gone and looked at like
stats from my teams from
Were you the Arizona Cardinals? Or the Pittsburgh Steelers?
They had a turn.
You hate the Steelers, that's what it is. You hate the Steelers.
Everybody got a turn. NHL 94.
Okay.
The World of Warcraft.
Oh, can we pause? Because
does that even count?
That's on all of our lists, right?
That doesn't even count.
Right?
Especially
not mine.
Yeah. Get off our island.
Hashtag not my world.
Speaking of everyone but Krang,
that's more like
Diablo games.
That's not like 100 hours in World of Warcraft. That's like 100 days of World of Warcraft. Years of World of Warcraft.
I had all the Diablo games easily. Final Fantasy Tactics, Dragon Quest VIII, Persona 3, Persona 5, Monster Hunter World, Coldcept, Twisted Metal 3, Sims, Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
Woo!
Word.
And then on my Steam, I just have a few. Dungeons of Dreadmore is I think that's my top one. I've got 617 hours on Steam. Darkest Dungeon, Stardew Valley, and Slay the Spire.
Yeah, that's
a lot.
That's a lot. How many of those would you say you're gonna go play again within the next month?
Well, I just played Slay the Spire today and Monster Hunter World today.
Okay, all right. Monster Hunter feel like one that you can keep coming back to?
I'm not so sure. They have events where it's like, hey, you can get this skin, and just popping back in for the event and then leaving again
doesn't
feel
great.
Yeah, it's not working for me. So that might be one that I come back to much later.
Gotcha.
Kind of start over.
Yeah. Like if I had to put a list together, I would say all the Legend of Zelda games I have easily over 100 hours into, probably. Like a lot of the multiplayer stuff, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, you know, Mario Kart. A lot of those games were a staple of my childhood with my friends. Like I would go to my grandparents' house like once a week. Yeah, Halo, holy shit. All the Halos, basically.
Yeah, all the Halos for me
up until 4. I didn't play much of 4. I played through the campaign and we played a little bit of multiplayer, but that was kind of the end of the Halo era for me. But yeah, as far as like my Steam games go, it's Skyrim, Rust, Far Cry 3, Shadow of Mordor, and Don't Starve Together, showing up over 100 hours. Some of those are inflated from like leaving the game running while I sleep accidentally, and then while I'm at work the whole day, and then coming back the next day.
Yeah.
So
I don't have that much in Don't Starve Together. I can't imagine you having that much.
No, I think the only times we've played it have been together. So, I may have done like 1 or 2 sessions with Luke alone, I think, maybe, or something. But yeah. But yeah, I tend to do that. I tend to pick a game and just sink a lot of time into it until something else comes along. And yeah, that's
yeah. My top currently is GTA 5, which would have actually been GTA Online in actuality. And that was 234.
That seems to be accurate. Steam says I have 87 hours on record in that, and that's probably, I don't think I've ever left that one going for a long time. I put a lot of time into that game too, but
yeah, after that's Skyrim with about 180 with the 2 different editions.
Anything that you think you want to keep coming back to? Or that you can? Is that a thing that you do, Luke?
Not so much anymore.
Yeah. Can move on once you're done with something?
Yeah, I mean, there's always games like Minecraft or Terraria that seem like always call me back after like a year or so.
You were a Minecraft guy?
Yeah, for sure. I was in beta. Had a server running and everything. I know it's 2018, but I mean, No Man's Sky is still pushing out updates as well, so maybe we'll see a resurgence of that later this year.
Big thing for me is these kind of like these shared world kind of games, stuff like Rust, stuff like Sea of Thieves, anything with like like World of Warcraft. That tends to be
ongoing
something
content being released for them.
Yep, I get way into that. Which is evident now. I think I probably have over 100 hours into Sea of Thieves already. It's been out. Like
I was just looking up to see if there was a clock or a timer for Sea of Thieves, the gameplay to track it, and I can't find it anywhere.
I don't think there is.
I was really curious of how many hours.
You might be able to look into that through your account.
Yeah, I looked
on Xbox.
That'd be interesting. But
if anyone knows, email us.
Yeah, like the whole coming back to the thing is definitely something that the Diablo series can make me do. Holy crap. They could release an update tomorrow for Diablo 3 and I'd be right there if it was like a new class or a new
character class, please.
Yep. For sure. What about you, Kring?
I like Brian, am finishing up this list that I was making, and I have some strange ones on here as well. So Shining Force 2, I've definitely played through probably. I have to have done at least 5 complete playthroughs on that game, and it's like a 40-hour game. So
Wow.
several hundred hours in that. The first game you were talking about, games with like understanding your time in a game. The first game that I remember tracking hours was I played Donkey Kong 64, and that actually had an in-game clock. And my first full playthrough was at 85 hours to play through that game. And I played through that game multiple times, so I know that one for sure. From there, Mario 64 was another one that I just played forever. I probably sunk probably 5 to 10 hours just doing the stupid little face thing at the beginning, and where you stretch out Mario's face and
5 to
you
10
freeze it.
hours playing with Mario's nose.
I spent a ton of time doing that, Tyler. There were days where I would do it and try to freeze it in like specific ways, and I would look.
Don't try to freeze it when you do it. That's dangerous.
I would mess with his face and try to freeze it in specific ways.
What kind of sound clips would Mario say while you were doing these things? Do you remember any of the phrasing that he would use?
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm just gonna not talk about Mario.
So long,
Gay crank.
I hate you guys all.
That's a callback. Check out last week's episode if you want to find out what we're talking about there. Some interesting revelations about the way people hear things.
It is a common misinterpretation. Common misinterpretation.
Kring, I want you to know that I did some research, and I did find a couple of videos of people coming to the same conclusion you did.
Thank you.
They were all bad people.
Well, yeah, I'm not claiming to be anything other than a terrible person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So there you go.
Polish off this list.
Polish it off.
The Call of Duty games. Pretty much 4 through whatever anything that was ever on Xbox 360. Pretty much, I probably put at least 100 hours into just the multiplayer alone, because those were at points. Those were each like a go-to game for me. Then there's GTA 5. I don't know. Was that one for you, Luke?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you combine both of them, I have over 100 hours into Lego Harry Potter. So
in the Lego games, huh?
Just the Harry Potter ones.
Oh, just the Harry Potters. Okay.
Yeah, and the Star Wars ones didn't land for me.
The judgment in that voice.
They put they took some weird turns with the Star Wars ones, like the writing was a little off. Felt like the story wasn't there. I'm sorry, Crane, continue.
That's it. I was done.
Oh man. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us, guys. That's the wrong thing. I hit the wrong thing. Just gonna let it play. It's a topic. It's not. It is this though. Episode 76. That's where it all comes together. That's where it all comes together. That's going to do it for episode 75, everybody. Thank you for showing up in the chat. Shout out to Gaming Bullet 818 who popped in there to say hello. You can join us right here at twitch.tv/questlogcast if you want to jump in there and throw some sweet memes, show us your emotes. There's a cool dog that I think everyone really likes that put in there. That's pretty good.
Who likes that?
Everyone. You get the show at right at questlogcast.com. You can listen to it, you can watch it, you can check out all the cool show notes with the pictures and the stuff. It's great.
Put it in you.
Put it in you however you want. Your eyeballs, your ears, put it wherever. follow us on the social media. You know, we got a Facebook page you can go to. If you just search it in the Facebook, we're on the Twitters. You can get us at QuestlogCast, and we'll be right back here next week on another fine Saturday to bring you the best of the week in gaming. So from me, from everybody, so long, my friends. Have a great week.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Take care.
So long, Kring. It's a me, your friend Tyler. So long. See how that sounds? It's not, it doesn't have to be the way you think it is.
I hate you, Tyler.